Arsenal have signed the best striker in the world. And don't let people try and convince you that's not what's just happened. If you look at his goal scoring record over the past 2 seasons, no one in world football is matching that. People, of course, my argument will have a slight tinge of Arsenal bias because I'm an Arsenal fan, but that still doesn't mean it's not a valid argument. Arsenal have been waiting for this number 9 for about 3 seasons. Arsenal have been waiting for a shooter, a clinical finisher, and that's exactly what's happened. Arsenal have just signed a striking phenom. Look at the level of goals and tell me you're not excited about this striker. This is a £100 million player and we've just paid 52 million, 54 million for him. I can't tell you how excited I am. And there's reasons this Viktor Gyokeres deal is destined to work. There's no way he don't score goals with this Arsenal team, and we're going to speak about it. There's also rumours of different players coming in as well, and Arsenal are cooking in this summer transfer window. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Before I get into it though, do me a quick favour if you could, and just hit like on this video. So let me know your thoughts on this Viktor Gyokeres deal. Is this the difference? And I've got a quick question before I get into the video. Now that Arsenal and Arteta have their striker this season, do Arsenal have to win silverware? Does Arteta this season now have to win a trophy? Let me know. Look, why am I so excited about this Viktor Gyokeres deal? It's because, this is a player who shoots. How many times for the past couple of seasons have we seen Arsenal just trying to walk the ball into the net? How many times have we been screaming and pleading with these Arsenal players, when you get in a decent position, please just pull the trigger. Please just have a shot and try and work the keeper. Sometimes we're up against some terrible keepers who are playing with no confidence and still we're not taking those shots. One thing I can guarantee with Viktor Gyokeres, he is a shooter. You give this guy a moment and he will take the shot. And that's what I'm so excited about. Look at this guy's goals. Look, YouTube clips won't tell you the whole story when it comes to Viktor Gyokeres, but go and watch him. Look what kind of player he is. And just try and vision that performance level in this Arsenal team with the way we play at times when we're whipping these balls in, when Lewis Skelly's getting forward, when Saka's whipping the balls in, when Martinelli's beating his player, getting to the byline and chopping the ball back, and Havertz is nowhere to be seen. Mikel Merino is nowhere to be seen. Gabriel Jesus at times is nowhere to be seen, because these are players who like to drift, but they also like to sit deep as well. And Viktor Gyokeres isn't interested in sitting deep. He's got one thing on his mind, and it's goals, and it pays off every single season. Look at the level of goals this guy has been scoring. And if you look at his clips, there are so many examples of, when Sporting are kind of on the back and then they play a long ball and he gets in behind. Arsenal will benefit from this. Look, Arsenal are a high possession team. So you can look at it from both ways. If we've got high possession, we're playing in the final third. Gyökeres will get chances that way, because if we've always got the ball in their area and the balls are getting cut back into the box and being played around the box, eventually Gyökeres will get on the ball and he will take the shot and score. On the other hand, if teams are pressing us and Arsenal are struggling to find a way out, Gyökeres will always be that option to go in behind, because he has the physicality to hold it up. He has the pace to beat the defender. There's been times where teams have been on top of us, whether we're playing like a Liverpool at Anfield or a Man City at the Etihad. And, we're being pressed deep and we never have that outlet. At times, we've just got to boot the ball away and concede possession again. Just boot the ball away, but everyone stays deep. So we're just basically giving it to their defender, and then Man City or Liverpool are having to recycle to come at us again, because we don't have that player. Unless Martinelli's on the pitch with that blistering pace, that would be the only outlet Arsenal have, because sometimes we've got Havertz up front. He doesn't provide that outlet. We've got Trossard up front, doesn't provide it. Jesus doesn't provide it. Even Saka at times doesn't have that blistering pace or the attributes to be that sole player to get Arsenal up the pitch. Now, in terms of dribbling, of course, these players have ability in terms of link-up play, but I'm just saying Viktor Gyokeres has attributes that not many or any of our players have, and that's what I'm so excited about. When we are sitting so deep, Viktor Gyokeres will be that guy, and it will pin defences even further back. So when teams would usually sit on us and the defence, their centre-backs would be up past the halfway line, they can't do that now. Because if we get the ball, and say if it breaks to a Yuri and Timber at right back or a Zubimendi in CDM, they will be able to play that long ball to Viktor Gyokeres, and the opposing team defence will know that. So they will naturally sit further back, because they say, look, if we do lose the ball, Arsenal now have an outlet. And we can't afford to give Gyökeres that kind of pace because we've seen how deadly he can be in those types of situations. So that's something I'm excited about because teams won't be able to press us as high up as they was able to last season because they knew Arsenal didn't have that outlet. Look, let me know what you're most excited about when it comes to Viktor Gyokeres. Like I said, I think this guy will score. How many goals do you think Gyökeres will get for Arsenal? In all competitions, I'm going to aim for 30 goals. And people are saying that's optimistic, but I'm telling you, this guy will get chances. And we've seen in terms of finishing, this guy is absolutely deadly. So let me know how many goals do you think Gyökeres has got. And Arsenal are now in a position where they're starting to look good going into next season. Like, people were starting to get nervous about this transfer. And what have I been saying for 2 weeks? Don't worry. We're just thrashing out the final deals on these add-on structure. Like, the deal has been agreed. People was messaging me yesterday, the day before, not yesterday, sorry, because the deal broke, the day before, saying, I thought you said this deal was done. The deal was done in terms of the first payment, the 54 million. It was only this add-on structure that was holding the deal up. Look, and Arsenal, we were improving in so many areas of the pitch. You look at some of the players we've got now. You think in terms of goalies, you've got Raya and you've got Kepa. Two unreal keepers. And then you look at the defence. Well, you got Lewis Skelly, you got Calafiori, you got Gabriel, Saliba, you've even got Kivior, you got Ben White, you got Jurriën Timber. Show me a team with that much depth in terms of defence. We've got Mosquera coming in. You've got Tomiyasu leaving, which is a big miss, but we didn't see him last season. Mosquera adds more depth to that defence, which is already so stacked. You look into midfield. That's probably the only area I look at in this Arsenal pitch where there's maybe a certain level of uncertainty, because you've got Partey and Jorginho who have left, and you've got Norgaard and Zubimendi who have come in. Zubimendi's a bit of an unknown quantity. Of course, he done very well in Spain, but at times, whether we like it or not, players do take some time to adapt to the physicality and the speed and the pressure of the Premier League. So hopefully Zubimendi slots straight in. But that midfield is the only area that I look at and say, look, there could be a bit of an adjustment period. Luckily, Norgaard is already a Premier League player. So if by some unfortunate circumstance, Zubimendi does seem to take some time to adjust, then you do always have the backup of Norgaard to play in that position if Zubimendi is struggling. Then you've got Rice, then you've got Odegaard, and then you've got so many. It depends what Arteta sees with Nwaneri, and we will speak about that in a minute. And then you look at that forward line, so many attackers, like I spoke on in yesterday's video. We have got so many options now. Last season, we were so unlucky with injuries. Can you imagine this season if Arsenal don't get no injuries? The strength in depth of that whole Arsenal squad will be mental. Like, we was very, very unfortunate last season. We caught a level of injuries that we haven't seen in about 10 years. We don't usually get loads and loads of injuries, especially to our top players. Now, the squad was bare last season, and that was probably reflected in the level of injuries that Arsenal had. But if we can keep bringing these players in, if we can go and get Eze, who we're being linked to, Simmons, who, we're being linked to, but it looks like Chelsea might be getting that deal done. There is still movements to be made in this transfer window, but it just depends what outgoings Arsenal are going to let go. I'm hearing rumours that they would let Trossard go, that they would let even Martinelli go if a substantial fee come in for him. It just depends what happens. But if you look at the strength and depth in that Arsenal squad, we are looking so good going into next season. I can't wait to start watching these pre-season games. There's so many players I want to look out for. Obviously the new players, but the youngsters as well. Nwaneri, he's just signing a new deal. What is that deal entailing? What has he been told? Has he been told you're going to play more minutes this season than last season? Because if you're Nwaneri, that's the only way you sign this deal, isn't it? Because you're not going to take less minutes. You're not going to watch Arsenal signing all these new players. And then if you're Nwaneri saying, right, so I'm going to drop off and I'm taking even less minutes just because you've brought these new guys in. No, he's going to want to be playing more. And that might affect the Arsenal players coming in. That might affect an Eze deal. Because if Nwaneri's back up to Odegaard, you've got madueke who's back up to Saka, you've got Trossard who's back up to Martinelli, you've got Jesus, you've got Havertz, you've got Viktor Gyokeres in the striking position. Where does Eze fit into this team? And he can be the first choice left winger, but then you've got Martinelli out of the team, then you've got Trossard out of the team, and Arsenal, would be looking at that and saying we can't afford to pay all these players wages when they're sat on the bench. Now, us Arsenal fans, we would probably say, whoever's best, you bring in these players, you fight for your position. So the best player, if it's Eze, play him left wing. If it's Trossard, play him left wing. But Arsenal won't look at it like that. They will say, we're paying 3 different players' wages to play left wing. We can't do that, so we need to get rid of one of these players. Plus, we need to fit Nwaneri into this team. He's not going to be back up to Saka now because we got madueke. He can't get into the left wing because he doesn't play that position. The only position he can possibly play now is centre attacking midfield. He might get some games as a right winger, but most of his career he's been a centre attacking or centre midfield, so he's going to want to be playing that position. And there is maybe a little bit of a gap that will open up with the frustration surrounding Odegaard. Now, he is still the captain. He is still, on his day, one of the best players in the world. But I'm sure even Odegaard would admit the last couple of seasons, or the last season in particular, maybe he wasn't at that high level required to start every single game 100%. Now, I love Odegaard, and I'm expecting him to have a massive season, especially with the introduction of Gyökeres. Can you imagine those clever little Odegaard balls being played through to Viktor Gyokeres, who will actually shoot? Odegaard's not going to be playing the ball through to Havertz, who will be looking to pass before he shoots, or Jesus, who will be looking to take a player on and do something special before he shoots. He will be playing the ball through to Viktor Gyokeres, who will just shoot. And that is something this Arsenal team has been missing. Let me know your thoughts on everything you've heard in this video. What's your thoughts on Nwaneri? Do you expect him to get more minutes? What's your thoughts on the Eze deal? Would you still bring him in even though there's a bit of a backlog in terms of that left wing position? Let me know. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, if you could, do me a quick favour. Just hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.